Yo, this is John Hope Bryant, and this is the Money and Wealth podcast series on iHeartRadio on the Black Effect Network. And this is season two of my podcast series. I want to thank everybody who supported season one and made this something that everybody wanted to see back in 2025. And we are laying it down in this new season. We are not backing off one little bit on importance, relevancy, cutting edge thought. So in some ways, although I'm gonna do a masterclass series, in some ways, each one of these episodes in 2025, because the world is changing literally underneath you, will be a bit of a micro masterclass. My goal is to have you want to sort of rewind this, share it with friends, listen to it again, take notes, and set up the rest of your life for the rest of your life. So here we go. Today's episode: AI, artificial intelligence for all of us, navigating the pain and the opportunity of a changing world. AI is sort of like the electricity of our time, powering everything, transforming industries, and altering how we live and how we work. For communities already on the edge, this change could feel like a tsunami unless we act with intention. Now that sounded like me, right? That 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 sounded just like I said it and wrote it, right? Actually, that was AI acting like me. I asked AY to give me an opening line that sounded like John Hope Bryant, and there you go. This world is about to fundamentally change. Um, Let me break this down of how I got into this situation. My friend, my brother Van Jones said this might be the ultimate leveler, by the way. He said 99% of black folks don't know a thing about AI, really. Pause. But 99% of white folks don't know a thing about AI either. Pause. That we are all starting for the first time with a technology at the same place, lost, but convinced that everything is going to change all at once. And they're completely right. By 2030, the world's going to change as you know it. You heard it here. I didn't say 2050, I didn't say 2080. Within 6 years' time, 5 years' time, actually now, 2025, the world as you know it is going to fundamentally shift. And it's shifting underneath your feet right now. And I'm going to explain some of that to you. How did I get into this? Because my obsession, as you know, as I've been saying, financial literacy is a civil rights issue of this generation. I think if Dr. King, God rest his soul, we just celebrated his birthday. If Dr. King was alive today, um, he'd be passionate about things like uh, financial literacy as a leveler. It's as important, I believe, as the right to vote. I've been on this mission at Operation Hope with Operation Hope and financial literacy and all that comes from it and through it. I've been on this thing for 32 years. Built the largest financial literacy coaching organization in America. $4.5 billion dollars invested in communities, 4 million plus clients, 1,500 offices doing financial coaching, advised three US presidents from both parties, recognized by five, known nine, just leaning in on everything from financial coaching on the workplace to financial literacy in schools, children, bank accounts for kids with Mayor Andre Dickens in the city of Atlanta City Council, for every kid in kindergarten, kids accounts in Atlanta. The work we're doing with major employers like Delta Airlines and UPS and the Walmart co-chairing of financial literacy for all, the CEO, Doug McMillan, the book Financial Literacy for All, our work in disaster. We're going to California. Just my heart goes out to everybody affected by the fires, and particularly the communities in Altadena, where a lot of Black wealth was lost. Uh, I'm passionate about this issue. Hope Inside Disaster. I work with FEMA, creating an emergency financial first aid kit. It goes on and on. Freedmen's Bank. You've all heard me go on and on and on. But nothing gets me unfocused. Nothing gets me off message. And I get a call. from a friend named Sam Altman a few years ago, couple 3 years ago at this point. And well, I went to go see him in his office in San Francisco on one of my trips there because I'm just nosy. I want to see what he was doing. And he opened up his laptop and he showed me a prototype for something that really at that point was not in the in the marketplace. I don't even think it was released. And it was what we now call Chat GPT, this open AI. And I didn't really know what I was seeing at that moment. I just knew it was transformational. He asked me my advice. I said, "You make sure that you introduce this technology." Well, first of all, thanks for asking me for my advice, Sam. Most people don't, who are geniuses. They just think they know everything. But he knows that the smartest people in the world can be so hyper focused, you can have a blind spot. And a lot of tech leaders have a blind spot called people. He didn't want to be one of those people who had a blind spot. What should I do? Make sure you're talking to underserved communities. When you go on tour to talk this into the country and the world, go make sure you go into underserved communities. John, will you do it with me? Absolutely. Get a call from his office. Sorry, Sam won't be able to do the underserved tour. He's international right now. I text Sam directly. I'm like, no, brother, you're not doing it for me. You're doing it for yourself. Need to make sure you go to these communities. He said, you're right. Let me think about it. Weeks pass by, and then I get a call from him out of the blue in the middle of the night. I think close to midnight. 'Cause I remember I made a call for that to the East Coast to the president of Clark Atlanta University, Dr. George French, and it was probably 2 in the morning there. So it was 11, maybe close to midnight. I get this call. Hey man, I got to go to the White House to meet with President Biden on my work, et cetera. 2 or 3 days, I think it was. Can I come to? You think I can come to Atlanta after that and uh, have you host a meeting to have this conversation? The only thing I had to say was yes, with no time and no idea I was going to do it. I hung the phone from him and called Dr. George French at Clark Atlanta, where I'm on the board. Dr. French said absolutely. And 3 days later, we had Sam Altman from the White House to our house in Atlanta for this conversation. The King family's in the house. My friend Dr. Bernice King is actually on the board of AI Ethics Council now. I'll get to that in a second. King family's in the house, young families in the house, all the HBCU presidents, Morehouse, Spelman, Dr. Thomas, and then Dr. Helene Gale, who was president of Spelman at that time, and Dr. Thomas Morehouse, and heroes and sheroes everywhere. And I was terrified, absolutely terrified about what I was hearing. And Sam, are there any unintended consequences that can come from this? Answer: yes. I know that we'll probably cure cancer within 10 years, but something bad may also happen, and I can't tell you what that is. And I respected his honesty. And so I knew at that point that I had to change my agenda to it wasn't replacing financial literacy. I had to move it over to include what I now call AI literacy, artificial intelligence, civil rights. Financial literacy is a civil rights issue of this generation, and AI literacy as a civil rights issue of this generation, moving us from the streets to the suites. And so soon after that, we Sam came to the Hope Global Forum. We announced the artificial AI Ethics Council on stage together, and within a year we had a plan to that we had a board put together. A lot of heroes and sheroes that you respect on that board. Dr. Angela Williams. Anyway, you can see. You go to the website for AI Ethics Council. You can. I don't want to take up valuable time here going through a resume list, but it's a lot of incredible leaders um, on that board. Now, and we just announced something powerful with Georgia State University and the mayor here at Andre Dickens called the AI LP3, AI literacy project here in Atlanta. Now, all this you're saying, okay, John, this is a nice story, but you told me this is going to change everything. I don't see it yet. Here you go. Two lenses: the anticipated pain, job losses, and societal disruption. Number two, the opportunity, new industries and jobs emerging in the AI driven economy. That's why, by the way, we've done AILP3 with Georgia State University, with Morehouse, with Clark Atlanta, Spelman, the mayor's office here, um, because we're going to train up a whole new generation of kids from kindergarten with a bank account in kindergarten all the way up through high school, middle school, high school, and college in Atlanta as an ecosystem to create a farm club for the future and create our own jobs. Don't wait somebody to disrupt you out of a job, destroy it. Let's create our own jobs and anticipate the pain and replace it with promise. Now, let's now get to the pain and why you have to listen to this, why you tell all your friends to listen to this. You can go right to minute 10 if you like and cut to the chase if you have limited time. Here are industries that will be absolutely disrupted. Manufacturing. AI driven robotics are going to replace roles on assembly lines, including automobile production. An example of this is factories utilizing robots for welding and quality control. Haven't you seen um, the Amazon drones? Haven't you seen these delivery bots that have wheels on it? That robots that are delivering pizzas and things like that in packages. Haven't you seen? I mean, really, uh, drones are really preambles to this. By the way, this stuff is sneaking up on you. By the way, right in front of you. Haven't you seen robots doing welding in factory tours as looking at your TV set? That used to be people. Those used to be manual jobs. Now those jobs are automated. Okay, so manufacturing is going to be completely disrupted. These, by the way, these are industries now where you need a high school education. Needed a high school education. That's gone now. If you have a high school education and no hustle and no intention in getting a better education or skilled for the future, you're toast. It's not love or hate anymore. It's radical indifference. Nobody's going to care enough about you to hate you or to care for you. And I don't care whether you're black, white, red, brown, or yellow, you're not going to see any more green. So the color is not, again, the color, this is not race based, right? This is going to be talent based and opportunity based and understanding based and hustle based. And in some ways, people who are underserved are going to be better positions. We've been doing so much with so little for so long. We can almost do anything with nothing. And so we got to hustle on 10 when, if we wake up paranoid. So we might be able to pivot here, particularly in the creative spaces, and make something out of nothing and a rainbow out of the storm, because cannot have a rainbow without a storm first. Can I get an amen? Yes, I'm preaching. Here's industry number two that will get disrupted. Uh, Transportation and logistics. uh, Autonomous vehicles and AI optimized logistical systems. Let me give you an example of this. Self driving trucks and automated warehouse management systems. Now, you've already seen self driving cars being tested. You've already seen self driving, basically taxis in San Francisco. You've seen these things on television. This stuff's real. I was just at CES conference in Las Vegas as a guest of Delta Airlines, my friend Ed Bastian, and the stuff that they have right now is mind blowing and mind bending around automation of automobiles. And the transportation industry, truckers and Uber drivers and not picking on Uber, all the driving services, the delivery services, the major transportation services. That's one of the top 10 employment sectors in the country. Poof, gone. Once again, you can do it with a high school education and a minor certification. Now, that job's not going to just completely go away, but it's going to change how it's not going to, you're not going to be driving the car. You're going to be maybe overseeing a car being driven, overseeing the technology. I'm getting ahead of myself. Again, write this stuff down. Here's a big one. If you're black and brown, I want you to look to the left and look to the right of you and see somebody who will not have a job, because the likelihood that somebody that we know is employed in this sector that I'm about to mention is everything: retail and customer service. So AI managing inventory, self-checking, checkout systems, and customer interactions is going to be absolutely complete. The takeover is going to be complete. Think about an Amazon Go store eliminating the need for a cashier. You know what an Amazon Go store is? Okay, I did a video on this. Go on my Instagram page and look at the video I did about 5 months, 6 months ago, going through airports and There was an Amazon Go shop that I featured, but you don't need to go that far. I want you to think about when you went to CVS recently, or you went to Walgreens recently. Uh, in the video version of this podcast, I'm going to drop in some photos during the video presentation of me in different places, most recently in Las Vegas, where it used to be one sole checkout, self checkout situation where you scanned yourself. This last place I went to in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago, 100% of the checkout it was 10 checkout stations were self checkouts with one guy overseeing the 10 to make sure that the systems didn't break down and nobody stole anything. That store had a total of, I believe I saw 2 or 3 employees. This was the complete store of Walgreens or CVS, can't remember which one. That store used to have, I don't know, 8 people, okay, on a shift. Gone, poof, right? Go to a grocery store and, oh, I was in McDonald's, not in, I walked past McDonald's in, where was I? I was in Seattle on a layover and I walked past a McDonald's. I'm not picking on McDonald's. This is everybody. And there literally was 12, again, I'm gonna show a picture of this, 12 checkouts, self-checkouts. And there was a place where you picked up your food. And there were robots on the other side of the customer service person talking to you at the counter, handing you your food that was helping to prepare the food. How many jobs do you think that represented at McDonald's before they automated it? There's a restaurant in, I believe it's San Francisco or Oakland, that's 100% robotic, 100%, no employees. And I'm told the food's pretty good. They're making hamburgers, an American hamburger shop. Um, check that out on my Instagram page as well. Um, Grocery store. You used to go to a grocery store and there were 12 checkout counters, and the nice person was talking to you, and there was a line and all this stuff, and she bagged it for you or he bagged it for you. You go to a grocery store now. Just watch this now, listen to this, and think about this. There's 12 checkout counters. All of them are closed except one, maybe two. And where's the line now? In self checkout. Oh, it's almost like positive herding, right? You put a frog in, you drop a frog in the pot of hot water, it jumps out. But if you put that frog in some water and slowly just increase the temperature, frog never realizes that it's cooking. I don't want you to cook. I want you to learn how to cook. And that means that before somebody zeroes you, nobody wants to deal with the girl with the attitude, right? At the counter. What you want? I want my food. what what can I do for you? I'm busy. I'm on the phone with my boyfriend. What what's that to do with me? Like, the attitude, right? The robots and AI don't complain, don't ask for breaks, don't ask for time off, don't ask for raises, right? They don't get tired, they don't get attitude, right? It's consistent. And I'm joking, but I'm serious. This is completely serious. All those jobs, poof, gone. That's a high school education, and no, and no soft skill requirements, and very little hard skill requirements. Right? Is in you don't need a degree or a certification to do it. Okay, that job gone. Number four, food service and hospitality. I've touched on this a little bit, but let me be very specific. Robotic kitchens and self-service kiosks. Think about Flippy, the burger flipping robot, the AI-driven reservation system, right? You may be calling a reservation system right now and thinking you're talking to a human. It might be artificial intelligence. Okay, okay, okay. This is just mind blowing how transformation. Think about this AI LP3 we're going to be doing here in Atlanta. We're going to literally go through every industry. We have these kids. Look, AI in sports, not just sports. AI in football, AI in basketball, AI in baseball, AI in soccer, music, AI in rock music. So, I mean, AI in engineering, mechanical engineering, AI in automotive, AI in healthcare, AI in beauty. Why? Because every sector is going to get disrupted. AI in medical care, healthcare, elder care. and have these kids basically help us imagine jobs of the future, which are going to replace the jobs being produced, being decimated right now. Let me give you a. Again, I'm not sorry. I apologize for not completing this list yet. I'll get back to it. But this context is more important than the list. I need you to focus on the list. I'm gonna give you good context. So I scared you. I scare you straight. Remember how the kids went that we sent the service. We used to send kids to prison on like a day visit to scare them straight so they never ended up in prison. Those kids were like, I do. I remember I got scared straight. I stole some crayons or something when I was 9 or 10 years old, 8, 9, 10 years old in Compton, and the guys, it was Thrifty's drugstore back then. The guys were looking from above, pulled me upstairs and closed the door and showed me some cufflinks, cufflinks, showed me some handcuffs and said they were gonna call the police and I was going to jail. I mean, scared the bejeepers out of me. I, if I'm being truthful, I might have wet my pants. They let me out of there, and I swore I was never gonna steal anything again in my life, and I never did. And those guys who scared the bejeebers out of me saved me from messing up my whole world. Well, I'm trying to scare you straight so you create a new world. So from 1850 to 1910, the most valuable thing in the United States was a horse. Horses were everything and everywhere. Transportation, agriculture, um, automobile. That version of an automobile, horsepower. That's where that came from. Um, Wealth, class structure, machinery. Horses were everything. And what were 1 out of 10 jobs in America back then? A farrier, who's somebody who did the change the hoofs on a horse. So uh, I don't know, 40, 50% of the entire economy was horse based from 1850. Why does Atlanta look the way it does? Well, you can't get off the freeway and take a detour because everything turns left, right. You can't take a straight detour, not a grid system like New York City. Why is it like that? Because it was based on horse paths. The horses used to you took a horse not over a hill, around a hill. Well, what happens in Atlanta now? You drive around a hill on a road because they just paved the roads that were, you didn't know that, did you? Were originally horse paths. Well, anyway, horses were everywhere and were everything. Then the automobile hit in 1901, and there was 100 automobile manufacturers. Most of them went out of business. Henry Ford and a few others survived. Henry Ford created the modern middle class by paying his workers enough to build the automobiles, to buy the automobiles that they were building. Boom, the creation of the middle class. And within 10 years, horses were no more valuable than glue. Went from the most valuable thing on the planet to invisible, gone, poof. And the most valuable thing you could do with horses, and I apologize for horse lovers. I didn't do this. I'm just reporting this. By 1910, the most valuable thing you could do in industry, in business, other than just having a horse as a hobby horse, no pun intended, was glue. So it went from everything to nothing. Think about Sears being taken out by Amazon, but just times 100. Think about Blockbuster being taken out by Netflix, but just time 100, right? Well, we're going to go from that took 60 years, from 1850 to 1910. We're talking about from 2004 to 2030, 6 years, not 60 years. Poof, everything's going to change, top to bottom. And if you're on it at the table, you're on the menu. I want you at the table. Here's sector number 5, finance and banking, one of the sectors that I'm in. And uh, underwriting loans will be done by artificial intelligence. Managing portfolios and detecting fraud will be done by artificial intelligence. All the documentation and all these papers that get pushed around, and will you sign here and do this and do that, can be messed up with human error and determine risk and assets for a generation and or liability for the bank or the lawyer doing the paperwork or whatever. All that's going to be all that risk is going to be squeezed out of the system. An example of this is robo advisors like Wealthfront and Betterment. These are robo advisors, AI assisted advisors in the wealth and financial planning space, wealth management financial planning space. Number 6, legal services. So I'm not just talking about poor people's jobs. These are people with advanced education, right? These jobs are going to go away or be transformed. Finance and banking. legal services, AI drafting contracts, conducting research, and reviewing documents. Think about uh, tools like Do Not Pay and loggings. Um, uh, i- it's a complete game changer. Um, Accounting. This is a bonus for you on this one. Accounting. I think half of all accountants are going to be you know challenged to uh, adapt what they do. Either they'll adapt with by empowering themselves to control AI, or they'll be replaced by AI because too much of that can be hello automated. Anything that can be automated is completely at risk. Again, this is a great leveler. Whether you're black or white or rich or poor, this doesn't care. 99% of black folks don't know anything about AI, and 99% of white folks don't know anything about AI either. It's like AI for dummies, and I was the first dummy, and so I'm not calling you a name. It's what we don't know that we don't know that's killing us. What we think we know. It's time to learn, baby. I'm Quincy Jones, God rest his soul. How'd you get so smart? I'm just nosy as hell, John. I want to know everything about everything. I want you to be nosy about AI. Number seven, healthcare administration, automation in billing, scheduling, and diagnosis. Hello, what do you see, black and brown people? Hello, and women. What jobs do you think we're doing in healthcare administration? Right? Think about AI powered diagnostic systems like IBM Watson computer. We'll do the whole job. Number eight, agriculture, autonomous tractors and drones monitoring crops. You don't even, it doesn't take a lot of imagination even to think about what I'm talking to you about. You can see it in your mind's eye. By the way, you want to uh, I don't get all distracted, but there's a documentary on the next. If there are going to be wars in the world, there may be wars about food and water. Um, and there's a great documentary on that, but I'll save that feature for another day. But it deals with agriculture and this autonomous takeover of running a farm. So platforms like Jasper and DALLE Dally are going to transform our system in agriculture. Um, I'm sorry, that's John Deere's AI enabling farming tool. Sorry about that. Jasper and DALL-E is my next example, which is media and entertainment. AI generating content and editing media. Um, I was drafting a document and needed help, and my editing team weren't available. And it was late at night, and my friend Bishop T.D. Jakes was like, "John, you're a dummy. Like, I thought you were smart. Like, you're a public figure, right? So AI knows who you are. So ask AI to help you because you're a public figure, and say, this is John Hope Bryan, and can you help me? This is the way I think. It knows how I think. I'm a public figure. Can you help me frame out the answer?" Or how to answer this question, or how to get me the background for this question I'm trying to answer, so I can then, basically finish writing this piece. And so I asked a number of questions, and it answered me back the way John Hope Bryant would answer. It was scary. It's like it sounded just like me because it is me. It's not plagiarism. It is me. It's me asking me about me. That's crazy. Okay, it's a whole other thing. Do you know there's a book, the Future is Faster Than You Think, which my friend Van Jones had me read recently. You should read it. And it talked about how it took, I think it's 200,000 years for us to get cognitive ability, and 20 years, 20, 30, 50 years maximum to take huge leaps in cognitive intelligence as human beings. And I'm sorry, it took 200,000 years to get cognitive ability, and 200 years to really get this incredible leaps in society. And within 20 years, it's going to do more than AI is going to do more. It could cause more change and disruption, and I think mostly positive change than all that those years in history combined. And a practical example of this is the best chess players in the world were beaten by an AI in a very short period of time, and then the computer that beat the chess player in AI had another computer learning from that computer There was another AI learning from the AI that beat the best chess player in the world, and within a short period of time, the new AI beat the first AI in a fraction of the time. See, it's just compounding, compounding, compounding. It's building on itself. Um, don't even let's not get to the point where we're talking about what happens when AI starts thinking for itself. Well, let's leave that movie and that question for another. You want me to do another episode on this? You let me know, and I'll go to part two. But let me just get to let me get to the sweet spot for you, which is the opportunity. In which the number, I've already dealt with media and entertainment. Now there'll be opportunities too, because creativity will be, I think, one of these unique things that might actually be preserved and reimagined by a young generation. But it won't be lazy creativity. It'll be very thoughtful creativity and multimedia possibly too. Number 10, real estate and property management is another business I'm in. AI for pricing, virtual tours, and tenant management. This is like Zillow's AI pricing tools. Zillow is a real estate platform that I use, and virtual tours. You can imagine this kind of stuff. You don't, AI. You go to a door and AI confirms through um, eye technology, you know, uh, through sight, through or your fingerprints. You've got the only fingerprints in the world. Yours are the only in the world. So when I go to the airport now, it used to take 20, 30 minutes to get through international passport control. And then I got global entry, and it took 5 minutes, 8 minutes to get through passport control. While everybody else is standing in line. And now I get through passport control in about 2 minutes because it looks at my eyes. Nothing else. Doesn't I used to scan my passport and all that stuff and wait somebody would ask me questions. Now it scans my eyes and it can tell within 5 seconds or less that I'm one of 8 billion people in the world. That's just me, and gives me my approval, confirms it's me. Yes, that's me. And I walk out the door and wave at the police officer, the security officer on the way out. It's unbelievably accurate. So think about this at the door of of a real estate property you want to see. So it confirms it's you through fingerprints or through eyes. It gives you access. It talks to you through a tour. I mean, it just goes on, it goes on, it goes on. Um, so let's talk about societal disruptions. Um, the education gaps, lack of AI literacy in schools, leaving communities unprepared. And of course, these are going to be underserved schools. That's why the AILP3 that we're doing with Georgia State University in the mayor's office here in Atlanta is going to be a national model, in my opinion. So if you guys are interested, your city's interested in that, you can get a hold of my office or get a hold of the mayor's office or Georgia State University School of Business, Dean Phillips' office. And we will try to include other cities as we expand the model. We got to make it work in Atlanta first. I believe we will. By the way, every kid in Atlanta gets and it gets a Hope Child Savings account. They're going to can get financial literacy from that account and AI literacy. 75% of any kid that has money in an account at kindergarten is 75% more likely to graduate from college. Hello. Um, and Citigroup is domiciling those accounts for us, by the way. Um, so you're going to have mental health and social strain, psychological effects of job loss and societal instability. I mean, I think half people are depressed right now. I think the vast majority of minorities, particularly African Americans, are depressed right now. Can you imagine what happens? I think poor whites are depressed right now. I think they're, it's a whole other conversation. But and how people are acting out on that. But I think you're gonna just imagine that on steroids, that depression, that sense of not being valued or valuable. You got people lying to them, by the way, versus giving them solutions now. Economic disparities, AI adoption, potentially widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Again, not somebody hates you; they just don't care about you. Now, I'm just going to give you a positive on this, just 'cause I'm trying. I don't want you guys to jump off of the first floor of a one-story building listening to this podcast. If you're a doctor in a small village in rural Africa or rural Latin America somewhere, or rural Asia, rural somewhere, and you got no sophistication, no staff, you're going to have within a couple years the same solutions, mental brain power as Emory University, because you're going to have artificial intelligence, and you'll be to help patients in a small village and remote and disconnected from the world to solve problems, extend life, uh, create wellness at the same level that an Emory University would. Isn't that magical? And then you'll have robotics at a fraction of the cost of what early robotics will cost. You'll have robotics getting down to a cost where you can do dental surgery um, and simple surgeries and laser-based surgeries at little to no cost um, in these rural communities. Okay, you can tell I'm really excited about this topic. Um, so you're going to have everyday examples of disruption. I mean, the obvious changes: automated checkouts, AI in customer service, driverless vehicles. Talked about that. Less obvious changes: AI replacing middle management tasks like scheduling and analysis. So if you don't like your boss, no problem. They may not be there very long. Okay, that was not nice. Number three, the opportunity, new job creation in emerging industries. Again, I'll run through this because this podcast is longer than I thought. Hope you're enjoying this because I am. Industries and growth potential. Write this down now. This is where you want to get your degrees. This is where you want to get your certifications. This is where you want to get your hustle focus. Healthcare, AI powered diagnostics, telemedicine. My wife uses telemedicine right now, by the way. And her dad, Dr. Dalton, he uses it right now. And her mother, Penny Mom, we call her Dr. Amy Dalton. And personalized treatment plans. Uh, so think about startups creating AI-driven cancer detection tools, right? This stuff's happening right now. Think about the watch that you have from Apple or whatever watch you're wearing that's digitized and it's taking your blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. Well, blood pressure is coming, but is your pulse and all that stuff. That's in sending messages back to your health app on your phone. I mean, that's not a phone; it's a mini computer in your hand. That's it's a smart, literally a smartphone. So healthcare, the same thing that's going to potentially for job losses. In many cases, there's opportunity for reimagining job growth. Green technology, AI optimizing energy usage and advancing sustainability initiatives. Think about smart grids and renewable energy projects. Cybersecurity, protecting systems from AI-driven attacks. This is going to be a huge business, right? It's no longer somebody trying to shoot you. It's somebody trying to steal your identity, steal your money electronically. Think about the risk of cryptocurrency. If somebody gets a hold of you got your physical cash in your pocket. You got your credit cards in your pocket, right? Think about somebody stealing the key, the digital key. You got drunk one night and you mentioned your key to somebody, or somebody you wrote it down. And somebody took what you wrote down. You don't remember what you wrote down. Whatever. You can't access the digital currency that you have. Somebody else can. They can lock you out of it. My brother Howard Hewitt had uh, a Facebook account that he got locked out of for 6 months because he didn't do dual security on his situation. At least didn't. He does it now. And somebody hacked his system. Not his fault. They hacked his system and was literally talking to his fans, his hundreds of thousands of fans, like it was him. He could do nothing about it. They were asking, he's asking for, they asking for money, as if he's Howard. They're Howard Hewitt. It wasn't Howard. Howard wouldn't ask you for any money. It was maddening to him, but he could do nothing about it. This is just a very small. We got to finally help him get his identity back, or get his page back. Took almost 6 months and he was at it every day. And this is a Grammy award winning superstar. Imagine this average everyday person who somebody steals your identity. All right. So cybersecurity is going to be huge, and it's a business for people that they can start. It's a career. It's a business. It's not just negative. It's a positive. So ethical hackers and cybersecurity analysts are going to be a big business. Uh, Again, you want to pull down the report from the AI Ethics Council. It'll be on our website this week, where we do a whole report on ethical issues tied to AI, what you should do about it, what you should look out for, and so we cover this ground, but we don't cover the opportunity as much as why I'm doing this podcast. But download the report on the AI Ethics Council website. Number four, AI ethics and regulation, ensuring fairness and transparency in AI systems, creating ethical frameworks for automated decision making. So again, you want to download our report of the AI Ethics Council is but one example. Number five, AI operations and maintenance, supporting and maintaining AI systems, robotic technicians and AI trainers. So there's going to be 75 million jobs, poof, that were going to go away because of AI. but there's going to probably be 85 million jobs, 88 million jobs, I think is the number I remember, is going to be created by AI. See what I'm saying? So, but it's not a one for one. It's not like you lost a job, now you get a job. No, somebody's going to lose a job. Somebody else may get a job. It may not be you unless you get these skills I'm talking about. Creative industries. Number six, enhancing human creativity through AI. See, I talked about the losses in entertainment and creative spaces, and also talked about the gains. Personalized content creation platforms. Uh, networks are communications networks are going to change. You have increasingly people like me and Shannon Sharp and Van Jones and Stephen A. Smith. These are friends of mine, and Charlemagne that God, and who runs the Black Effect Network that I'm on the board of. This I'm on his platform right now. You have all these podcasters. They're creating their own following, their own subscribers, their own products, their own networks, if you will. Right? These are, and we're using technology, and we're using robotics, and so on and so forth, and AI tools, etc. So if you're not part of the solution, if you're not part of the future, you're going to be run over by it. Okay. So skills for the future, hard skills. Okay. Kids, listen to me now. Coding, AI development, data analysis, cybersecurity, soft skills, creativity, adaptability, emotional intelligence, like vocational training for AI to specific roles like, uh, you know, uh, you know, and anything tied to engineering. Like, if you want to not go broke, be an engineer, or any kind of engineer, mechanical engineer, computer engineer, any kind of engineer. You will not get broke. Go broke. I think like 6% of all engineers are black. Oh no, sorry, 6% are white. 6 or 7 sorry, white women. 6 or 7% are women, and I think 3 to 4% are black. So there's a huge opportunity to be an engineer. And again, you'll make six figures for the rest of your life. Um, and like hidden opportunities, AI powered farming, specialized logistics, AI assisted creative projects. Not They're not so obvious, but whoever finds that and master that, you can corner the market. Here's a call to action. What we must do now: we have got to obsess about AI literacy. Encourage everyone to understand AI basics. Listen to this podcast as a starting step one. Listen to what Van Jones has a video where he talks about the 5 AI apps that he uses. Listen to what he's saying. He's mostly for creatives, but listen to what he's saying, and listen to people like him, and stop listening to dummies. Like, we've made. Let me tell you who's going to have a real problem with artificial intelligence and robotics. Criminals. If you're a crook, this is to be one of the industries that's going away. People, oh, I got a mask. It's a COVID. I can just wear a mask. Nobody can see my face. AI can. It can see right to the pupils. It can go. It can look. Your eyes are still visible. Your whole face might be covered. In fact, AI can now identify you with a mask on. Look at your iPhone now. Can now identify you for Face ID with your mask on. Think about that. And there's cameras increasingly everywhere. Old school criminals, I don't even know what a new school criminal looks like. I guess it's cybersecurity, but old school criminals are uh, rob and mug and grab and running in stores and grabbing stuff and knocking somebody over the head and running into cars and doing stuff, and doing road rage. All that stuff's gone because a camera's got you on lock, and they're coming to get you. They're coming to get you. That's actually a good thing. But anyway, if you're a criminal, just stop it right now. Like, it's just that's an industry that will get completely disrupted. It's old school gangsters and criminals and whatever. So you've got to become a lifetime learner, and focused on reskilling at every age. Community level action. Introducing AI literacy in schools and vocational programs. Again, AI Ethics Council and AI LP3. This is what we're doing here in Atlanta, so follow our model. Civil rights, public private partnerships, collaborating with tech companies for accessible training programs. Again, follow our model. Uh, national action, policy advocacy, upskilling programs, universal basic income pilots. Even though I'm, not really crazy about the concept of universal basic income. I like minimum wage. I like living wages. I don't want to guarantee somebody an income because I think that it strips people of their dignity, And without financial literacy, your basic income just means you'll spend to that level and you'll need more. But the tech companies do like some of the tech leaders when they think the jobs are going to go away, they will give you a grant or a program in the city or state to pilot some of this stuff, and they're going to at least they're going to do it. I guess if they're going to do it, you should. If the money's there, you should take it. I just don't think that is has a long uh, uh, um, future ahead of it. Ethical rewriting ethical AI regulations is going to be done at the city, state, federal, international level. Again, that's what some of the things we're doing. The AI Ethics Council follow a little bit of what we're doing. Again, download our report and read every inch of it. Expanding broadband access and digital inclusion programs, nonprofits and community-based organizations. You may need to rewrite a little bit of your future history about what you're going to focus on. Maybe you should be focusing on some of this stuff. The greatest wealth building opportunity of this era will come from embracing technology, not fearing it. Together, we can ensure that AI isn't just for some of us, it's for all of us. The pain of disruption and the opportunities in new industries and roles is unfortunately right in front of us. The future isn't something we inherit, it's something we build. And so if you wait and wait and wait, you're going to get hit by the weight. Again, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. But you can make a change. Rainbows only follow storms. You cannot have a rainbow without a storm first. So let's make this a call to action. Share this podcast, start a conversation, explore resources from Operation Hope and the AI Ethics Council and AILP3 and other innovative heroes and sheroes and doers from the streets to the suites and back that are trying to create opportunity for people at scale and planning for the future that we will all have together. AI is for all of us. Let's make sure that no one gets left behind. This is John Hope Bryant. This was AI for Dummies, which started with me. I was a dummy, and I am trying to learn as fast as I can. And what I know is nobody else knows anything either. So that just makes me comfortable. But if you hustle and you understand what I say on my this T-shirt here, nobody cares. Work harder. If you've got these concepts in your spirit, you work hard. You've got hustle. You understand that only in the dictionary does the word success come before the word work because it's alphabetical, and you understand we're all starting at the same uneven place and that you have a chance to go become the next Edison or the next Steve Jobs or the next Oprah Winfrey in the new creative space or the next hero or shero. Everything, all these industries are going to get disrupted. Everything is. I can't explain this, underscore this more uh, than I'm saying this simply, but I can't. I want to say it 10 times. I just know that maybe you just need to hear it once slowly. Every industry in the world is going to get disrupted. Pick one. When you're getting run out of town, get in the front of the crowd and make like a parade. Turn your problem or somebody else's into an opportunity. By the way, that's what capitalism is. Capitalism is solving problems. People had nappy hair, somebody created a comb. Can you create an AI digital comb for the future? Okay, I'm stopping. John O'Brien, this is Money and Wealth on the Black Effect Network. And this is my podcast series for 2025 on iHeartRadio. Let's go.